The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. We kick things off Thursday morning. Markets choppy this morning. We got some numbers from Delta. They're trading higher on their guidance. We got some numbers from Ferrari as they're dramatically trading lower on their miss. And we got markets basically flat right now. S&P's positive by 2 points after a surge higher to all-time highs yesterday. We're sitting just above 6,800, 6,804. Up by 2 points. NASDAQ 100, negative by 9. Again, all-time highs yesterday, 25,322 right now. Dow, we'll call it flat. 46,867. The Russell, barely in the red, 2497. Bitcoin, a little bit of a bid in this morning. After we traded lower overnight, that's a $2,000 acceleration on Bitcoin. Just from where we were at 5 a.m., we're at 124,160. Crude, 62.71. We hit a high of 62.92 yesterday. We jump into yields. The 10-year right now trading down 2 ticks, a little bit of higher yield. The yield approaching 4.14% on the 10-year. The dollar this morning, we hit 99.10 overnight. We're at 98.91. How about this acceleration since Fed Day? We come into Fed Day at about 96 and change. We're up more than 2 full points from there with the dollar pushing 99 right now. And even with a strong dollar, no weakness in gold whatsoever. Look at that, man. We just hit a high. Now, that's a daily. You check it out overnight. 4,081 was the high yesterday, and we're making session highs right now at 4,075. Again, I just showed you. We got dollar strength. And, boy, you got gold strength. Up another $5, 4,075 bucks. And silver. How about this rally? 49.93. Did we get above this one? I think we did. We did. So we just got above 2011 highs in the silver price, folks. Check that out. This is a monthly, but we just got above it. 49.94. And we're only 50 pennies away. If anybody's been out there holding silver since 1979 at $50, you're about to break even. 45 years later. I say it in jest, but pretty remarkable. 49.89, and we might hit it as we speak. Silver catching a run. Look at that 5 minute. We were just at 48.50 this morning. 49.94 on silver. Platinum up another 15 bucks. How about platinum on this run? 17.16. We were talking about platinum on the show yesterday. You back platinum up. The highs out here from 2011 in platinum, 1918. If you look at an A to B, C to D, just this year alone, takes you right up to that level, about 1912, 1918, the high from 2011. But all metals having a moment, and pretty remarkable platinum getting up to 2,300 back in 2008. Was that when everyone was stealing the catalytic converters because they had platinum in it? I think it might have been. It's tough to remember on some of these spikes, but I think it was back there when it got to 2008, 2,300. We jump over to the VIX. As we get a VIX. Yeah, they might start stealing them again, Duffy, with this run. Watch out for those catalytic converters, folks. Anytime you get that type of a parabolic run. And not necessarily parabolic, but as in don't expect any pullback dramatically. Platinum. VIX right now. We were above 17 yesterday. Market rallies. We're sitting at 1635 as we back off a bit. Okay. Now, Delta. So, Delta's up $4 in the pre-market. Comes out with their estimates. Higher fares and resilient demand. Yeah. They expect to grow their profit margins next year. Premium travel revenue continued to outshine coach class, though domestic unit revenue grew. Earnings of $1.60 to $1.90 a share, compared with $1.65 is what the market was looking for. And that in terms of that's their projected earnings. Revenue in the last 3 months of the year going to grow as much as 4%. The market was looking for 1.5%. They're not seeing anything happening with the shutdown yet as well. Revenue from the high-end segment, which includes first class and the roomier economy seats, increased 9% to $5.8 billion, while the main cabin revenue fell 4% to about $6 billion. So check that out, right? First class and roomy economy seats, almost 50% of the revenue versus the entire main cabin. Hoo-wee. And then, when asked about the federal government shutdown, CEO said the airline has not seen any impacts at all to its operation in recent days. What I will say about that is it's not going to matter until it matters. Those traffic controllers, they're going to have to get paid eventually, folks. And so as the pressure builds, we'll see how that plays out. But boy, look at that. We got a pop today, and you take a look at this equity. You're going to open at about $61. That's your weekly. You have a high out here, $64 back in the beginning of September. You look at the daily. Some decent volume to the upside yesterday. Rejected lower price. You do it with 12.4 million shares, and you're going to accelerate higher today as well for Delta. All right, on the flip side of that, Ferrari. How about $417 on Ferrari? Yeah. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice? No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right? Well, guess what? We did this 3 months ago, and we're going to do it again, man. And you're going to open even lower than we were on their last earnings. Remarkable. So here's their last earnings. You tank lower, and this morning we're going to open below that level at about $416. Okay? You got Ferrari trading down $65. Worst trading day ever as guidance disappoints. Updated its full year and 2030 guidance, scaled back its electrification ambitions. Yeah. So their guidance falls below our lower growth case. Limited operating leverage through the coming cycle. We think there's some risk to both consensus earnings per share. Near term, Ferrari would target a 2030 sports car model line, 40% internal combustion engine cars, 40% hybrid, and 20% electric by 2030. What's an EV Ferrari going to look like? So they were originally looking at 40% EV by the end of the year. Now it's 40% regular engine, 40% hybrid, and 20% EV. Nonetheless, put that one on your radar. You're going to get some volatility this morning as Ferrari trading lower. And also on the earnings front, you got Pepsi. How with their numbers? A little volatility. You're slightly in the positive. Earnings top estimates, international markets for Pepsi. We'll talk Pepsi when we get back, folks. NASDAQ in the red, S&P's up by 1. We're coming right back, folks. If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Welcome back, folks. We got the S&P's up by 3, NASDAQ 100 negative by 3. We're talking about Pepsi there. Pepsi shares slightly in the green, following a little volatility on their numbers, up to $140. We were trading at 138.84 yesterday. Take a longer-term look at this equity, right? That's a 5-year. Okay, that was your 2021. So check out. Let's go back even further than that. Yeah, there's your COVID pullback. So we're right where we were coming into COVID. Quite a one-way trip for Pepsi from 2009, about $45 up to $200. You back off dramatically. Yeah, that was some selling last month, man. Be careful of the volume on this chart. You got quite a little bounce on the June and July, but we got above there on lighter volume in August, and you rip lower in September on dramatic volume. We take a look at the weekly on Pepsi. Well, the problem is you're probably going to take out last week with volume. You've already done 35 million shares coming into today. Today's going to be a big volume day on earnings. All right, we get into their numbers. They reiterate their forecast. They top the numbers, top and bottom line. Revenue, $23.94 billion versus $23.83, so that's $110 million extra in revenue. Earnings, they beat by a few pennies. Third quarter net income, $2.6 billion or $1.90 a share, down from $2.93 billion or $2.13 a share a year earlier. Net sales up 2.6%. However, okay, softer demand for its products. Worldwide volume for both food and drinks fell 1% during the quarter. Not what you want to see. Okay, that takes out pricing and foreign exchange. They're selling less product, food and drinks across the globe. In the U.S., they're really struggling. Okay, Pepsi Foods North America, which includes Doritos, Quaker Oats, volume down 4% in the quarter. That's a big number for a company like that. The company has been investing in more. I haven't heard this term before. Has anybody heard this term? Permissible snack offerings? Is that like giving yourself permission to have snack offerings? Have people heard that? I've never heard that term before. A permissible snack offering. Are you having permissible snack offerings out there? Speaking of when does the fat lady sing, are they permissible? I've never heard that one. But they're healthier options. They're talking about Stacy's pita chips. I do love those. Quaker rice cakes, also a fan favorite right here. Two great, healthier options. The problem is they're not healthy when you eat an entire bag. Smaller portions with less sugar. I beat you to it, Duffy. Not healthy when you eat a whole bag, right? Hey, we all. Less sugar. Hey, less processed sugar in particular. Don't worry about sugar, folks. Worry about processed sugar. Don't worry about sugar in bananas, grapes, okay? Don't worry about that. Apples, applesauce, no sugar added. Don't worry about that. Worry about the processed sugar. Nonetheless, right? What are they going to do? This is the part I was going to get to. Doritos protein. Now, yes, there's protein everywhere. I'm not sure if you saw recently, folks, if you've been to the Starbucks drive-through, they have now protein toppers at Starbucks. Yeah, you can get protein foam on top of your coffee. It's a great idea if it's delicious, because protein is very important. It makes you feel full. It's a healthier alternative usually than carbs, if everything is in moderation, okay? And fat, of course. But yeah, I guess they're going to get to I don't know. The competition, I just don't see Doritos protein being the huge one there. You know, you look at something like they have popcorners, right? Certain alternatives, even like this, you know, Quaker rice cakes, right? Pita chips, that makes sense. If you're eating Doritos, okay, and this is where you want to get this one in your, if you're eating Doritos, folks, okay, not many people are going to go to that alternative, I don't think, for the protein. That's just, you know, and they have great chips like this already. If you've ever seen them, folks, okay, and I've tried them and they're good. Quest is really the one that's everywhere, right? Quest protein chips. You've seen these at Walmart, Target. I pulled them up at Walmart right now. And yeah, they got a lot of protein, okay? This one little bag of Quest chips here is 18 grams of protein. No sugar added, basically. And you have some fat in there with the chips as well. But I don't think that's going to be the recipe for Doritos. It's a slightly different segment. People want to be healthier. I don't think that they're going to start turning to Doritos protein chips. Just doesn't have, for people looking for that health. It's a little bit manufactured. All right. Nonetheless, you got Pepsi shares up about $1 and change this morning on their numbers. You jump over to Google. So Google, yeah, they're going to be offering their suite of products. Let's pull this one up. Gemini subscriptions to help corporate workers build their own agents. Okay, so Gemini Enterprise and Business subscriptions is going to package an existing agent development tool for non-technical workers. Everyone ready to go vibe coding and create their own agent? We're here, folks. Governance features, new agents for specific functions, okay? And yeah, you better believe big companies are more likely to be exploring and testing AI agents than deploying them at scale, okay? But they're going to be doing it right now. A monthly fee, $30 per person in large organizations. For smaller clients, $21 per person each month. That's a lot of money when you're talking about per person for these businesses. So pre-made agents for software development, data science, and customer engagement also come with those new subscriptions. It's going to be agentic everywhere. Agent Space, an agent building product they announced in December. They're going to upgrade current Agent Space clients to Gemini Enterprise. They come with model armor, a feature for inspecting and blocking requests and responses in AI chat, so organizations don't need to fuss with setting it up. Yeah, and the battle's on. As in just a few days ago, ChatGPT, you can access third-party apps, okay? And so that was your little pop this morning in Google. We give it back. Google shares right now basically flat at 245. You jump around to some of the other magnificent 7. Amazon shares, quite a charge higher yesterday. You're slightly in the red this morning for Amazon. Apple shares, slightly in the red as well. NVIDIA, you talk about a day yesterday, and boom, we're doing it again, folks. All-time highs for NVIDIA. Trading up to 192.50 from 189. We're at 184 on Tuesday when that Oracle story broke. That's $200 billion in market cap added to NVIDIA from where we were less than 48 hours ago. We're coming back for the open, folks. Don't go away.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got a little bit of selling right out of the gate there. I looked at markets right as we were coming into the opening bell, and we were actually accelerating higher. This is a 1-minute chart, right? So we got volatility coming in. Nonetheless, S&Ps, you're positive by 4 points. NASDAQ 100 slightly in the red, even with NVIDIA plowing higher. Dow up by 14. Russell negative by 4. So we get the divergence in these indices. A little bit of chop. We jumped 2 NVIDIA shares, and you talk about it, man. Up another $3. You take a look at the daily. I mean, did you have NVIDIA gapping higher after yesterday, right? Very difficult to have that, man. Just relentless action to the upside. Jump around to some of the other chip stocks this morning. AMD continuing the run. How about it? Up another 0.7%. And you jump back to the chips. There's so many stories that are driving it all, but this one seems to be driving some of the action this morning as you have the U.S. approving some NVIDIA UAE, United Arab Emirates sales in a diplomacy step, but yeah, several $1 billion worth of NVIDIA chips, exports to the UAE, and an initial step in implementing a controversial deal could serve as a blueprint for American AI statecraft, as they put it. They issued NVIDIA that export license under the terms of a bilateral AI agreement, and that came after the UAE made concrete plans for a reciprocal amount of investment on American soil. Those are the first permits for NVIDIA AI chip sales to the Gulf nation since Trump took office. So yeah, we trade higher. Pretty remarkable. You jump over to Intel shares, slightly in the red by about 0.6%. Broadcom slightly in the red by about 0.3%. All right, let's check out some of the earnings equities. Pepsi up by 1% on their numbers. Ferrari down by 12.3% for their numbers. And Delta on their revision higher up by 6.6% right now. Take a look at the weekly of Delta. All right, we're coming above that week of September 15th, and we're going to have some volume this week, that's for sure. You know, Delta's seeing no impact right now on people booking, but there is a risk out there if this government shutdown persists, folks. Air traffic controllers, they got to get paid, okay? You got 14,000. Okay, so heed this one as you hear Delta say they have not seen an impact at all, okay? You can find the articles, doesn't matter where. This one's from yesterday, all right? We'll get a Reba ad on top of it. But 14,000, that's what I want to pull up here. More than 14,000 controllers employed by the FAA will not be paid until the shutdown ends. Yeah. 14,000. The financial anxiety, I mean, folks, you got families, you got kids, school's in session, right? They're not getting paid. You better believe that may matter for flights, etc. I'm going back to Boston myself sometime next month. I think it's the 13th of November, something like that, for a weekend, see the family. It's my grandmother's 89th birthday, Tommy's great-grandmother. How about that? Not bad. She'll be 89 years old. Hopefully they have things resolved by then, folks, because if you're flying in the middle of November and you're going on a plane and you have 14,000 air traffic controllers not getting paid, yeah, we all know in terms of 4 to 6 weeks, okay? So there is going to be some intense pressure as this builds because nobody's noticing anything right now, which is remarkable when you think about it. Nothing, right? Nobody is noticing anything in terms of it's not impacting anybody. But that's because people are continuing to work and not getting paid. And that will matter eventually. Not today, though, on Delta. And I'm not sure it will even matter on these numbers, man. Resilience, hey, anything stretches long enough, it'll matter, folks. Let's jump around to some of these equities. You jump over to Tesla shares today, down by 1.3%. We check back in on gold. I mean, how about that weekly, right? Every time you think gold is pushing higher, and I talked about this yesterday, you're going to get another expansion on volume, folks, okay? This is the week of September 29th. Okay, the volume doesn't show up until the end of the week, but all you got to do is add the days. We only did 1.3 million last week. You put gold on a daily, Already this week, we've done 272, 288, and 334. Those together are about 900. And today we're at about 200 already. So that's 1.1 million contracts already. And we basically have a full day of trading today and tomorrow. And we only got to beat 1.3. So on a weekly basis, okay, this volume bar, unless something happens, we're going to trade higher again with greater volume. This continues higher on gold. So yeah, speaking of Tesla, EVs violating traffic laws. Yeah, 2.9 million vehicles, full self-driving, driver assistance, okay? Several incidents cited, resulted in crashes and injuries, but none of them involve fatalities, thankfully, okay? 58 examples, including instances which vehicles drove in the wrong direction on a road. I mean, we're just not there yet, folks. Especially, it seems like Tesla's not there yet. And we will get there. Doesn't mean we're there just yet, man. I would not be trusting those vehicles. You better not, folks. We're not there just yet. Yeah, and Ford delays lithium supply deal amid their EV struggle. And Ford just keeps piling, man. We talked about yesterday. They got that big problem with the plant going on, which is what this whole weekly is pullback going on. Their aluminum plant that they're using for the F-150. They got a big problem with that. Ford up by about 0.2% right now. Jump around to some of the other airlines on the heels of that Delta. United up by 6% right now. American Airlines up by 4.2% right now. All right, and what else is it today, folks? It's opening night. I got my Lightning jersey on, okay? If you can't see me, I do. I got my Lightning jersey on. We're ready to go, baby. And folks, if I had a Boston jersey, I would have been wearing it yesterday. Shame on me, I don't have both. The Bruins, though, yeah, they opened it up with a win. Game 1 versus the Washington Capitals. And tonight, you got the Lightning starting things off against the Ottawa Senators from Canada at 7 o'clock. It used to be Amalie Arena. What is it now? They changed the name. I forget. But nonetheless, NHL season is here, folks. And you got to love some good hockey, man. You know, baseball, I tell you. I joke. You know, Family Guy, folks, you ever see the clip on Family Guy where, you know what really grinds my gears? It's such a caricature, right, of everything. But baseball is a great sport, okay? Growing up in Boston, folks, okay, I was partying on Lansdowne Street when I was like 22 years old when the Red Sox won their first championship on the run they went in. And what's crazy is you play so many games in the regular season, and then you have a best-of-3 series for the wild card, and then a best-of-5 series. They should play some more games. Nonetheless, sports march on.
Many trading
come right back, folks.
Attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the Opening Call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We got a little bit of selling. S&Ps dip into the red. We're negative by 2. NASDAQ 100. We're off by about 0.25% right now. And this is with the biggest equity in the world, folks. NVIDIA up by 1.3%. We give back some of those gains. AMD shares, they give it back slightly as well. You jump over to Broadcom, down by 1.3. You get some selling. Amazon shares, we were higher. You rip lower by about almost $4 right now in the open. We're down by 1.2%. You were higher coming into that. And yeah, we got a little bit of selling going on right now. And yeah, what I was finishing up with baseball, it's just as a statistician, folks, there's so much variance, right? As somebody that loves statistics, okay, I think people underestimate variance dramatically, okay? As in, let me give you a quick example, okay? The lottery, right? Powerball. The odds are something like 1 out of 250 million of hitting the lottery. Okay, you buy a single ticket, whatever the odds are, there's something, they tweak the lottery number sometimes to make it even more difficult to run up that jackpot. 1 out of 250 million are your chances of winning that. Well, as we know, sometimes the lottery, the jackpot rises, right? Well, let's just say that the jackpot's $1 billion, okay? And the real risk if you run analysis like this is if you buy a bunch of tickets and you know your odds of winning are 1 out of 250 million and the jackpot's $1 billion, we know that maybe you buy a ticket and there's somebody matches it and you have to split it. But let's say you take that situation out of it, okay? Let's say any ticket that wins, you get the $1 billion, even if there's multiple winners, okay? And then take taxes out of the situation too, just for the purposes of this. Let's just say you even pay taxes, but take it out for this because you would pay taxes. If you're going to win $1 billion and you know that every ticket you buy, you have an odds of winning a 1 out of 250 million, right? Well, guess what? You should buy every ticket that you could afford because the expectation, okay, the expected value, right, is for every ticket you buy, right, you could buy 250 million tickets, right, and you'd be guaranteed a win over that sample size if you were achieving the long-term expected value, okay? And what would happen is you'd end up with $1 billion. You'd make 750 million, okay? So every time you bet $1, you're going to win 3. It's an amazing proposition, okay? And I'd say to you, hey, I got this great deal. Okay, in the long run, every ticket we buy, we're going to win $3. Every ticket, I can guarantee it. I can show you the math, okay? Every ticket we buy in the long run is going to win us $3. You give me $1 and we're going to win 3 in the long run. You better ask people what they mean by in the long run, okay? Because that's true in playing the lottery, except for the variance that is involved. Do you know what kind of a sample size? I don't even know. because it doesn't even matter. Do you know what kind of a sample size you would need to achieve to have your expected outcome be the result of odds where you're hitting 1 out of every 275 million chances? Yeah, you'd have to run probably $1 billion or $1 trillion, right? Probably $1 trillion. You'd have to probably run $1 trillion analysis. The point is, you'll never get, there's so much variance in that, okay, that you'll never quite get there. And that is everywhere in our markets, folks, okay, in terms of understanding variance sometimes. All right, now let's talk a little bit of gold. I should spend a whole hour doing it, folks, because I should. Because playing a tremendous amount of poker, okay, something that's amazing. And let's go back to it. So poker, all right. Now, when I played online, I played millions of hands of poker, folks. Millions. Yeah, I was playing 20 tables at a time. This is going back to 2007, 2008, 2009, okay? The magnificent run-up of the moneymaker heyday of online poker. Poker After Dark was everywhere on TV, full tilt poker, all that stuff. But what's amazing is, folks, what revolutionized poker and GTO play, game theory optimal play, was data, okay? Because what happened is that before there was online poker, nobody actually had the data of millions of hands played, right? Now, as computers came about, you could simulate that data, etc., but you didn't have to. When online poker came about, it solved the game because then you had the data to solve it. Right? But in tracking all that data, one thing it tracks is variance. Now, one way you could track that is every time you go all in, let's say you go all in with pocket aces, okay? And the guy or the woman calls you with pocket tens, okay? A higher pair in Hold'em, two card, no limit Hold'em, is going to win about 80% of the time. So pocket aces versus pocket kings, you're about an 80-20 favorite, okay? So let's say you each have $500, you go all in, prize pool is 1,000 in the middle, okay? The person with aces has an expected value of $800 because they're only going to win that $1,000 80% of the time. The person with kings actually has an expected value of $200. Now, they put up 500 to win it, so they're going to what? They're going to lose, okay? But when you play millions of hands, folks, okay, one of the easiest ways to track how lucky you're getting is that you can track all-ins very simply, and you can see where your profitability would have been if you just hit the expected value of your all-ins. So, for instance, on that pocket aces hand, right, your expected value is that you're going to win $800 that pot. Well, if you win it, you're actually running $200 above expectation, right? Because you're not supposed to win $1,000 in there in the long run. You're only supposed to win $800, okay? And this is a long way of saying, folks, you would not believe how many hands you can run over expectation or under expectation, and I'm talking about for tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of hands. Hundreds of thousands of hands, okay? You're flipping quarters for profits or losses. And so when I say that, most people don't realize if you go down to the Hard Rock Hotel or beautiful Las Vegas or the Foxwoods Resort, okay, or the Wynn in Boston, and you're playing poker, folks, you go in to play poker, you play it in a live setting, you're going to get maybe 20 hands an hour. That's 3 minutes a hand, depending on the table you're at. 20 hands an hour. You play for 5 hours, you're going to get 100 hands. Folks, yes, skill matters in the long run. But in that 100 hands, you know what matters almost most in terms of whether you're going to win or lose? The seat that you pick. Because in that 100 hand sample, it's mostly going to be about luck. And there's a lot of variance in everything. And so when you're trading high-risk scenarios, okay, it's something to consider because I saw it so many times. You know, going through a sample size of millions of hands allowed me, because I always love statistics, okay, I took statistics freshman year at Villanova. I was fortunate I placed out of Intro to Calculus, okay, I had taken AB Calc in high school, placed out of Intro Calc, so I was able to take statistics my first year at Villanova. And it was like my favorite course there. Yeah, the bell curves, standard deviations, it is so important, folks. But until you see it in person and seeing how I could have sample sizes of 10,000 hands, 50,000 hands, 100,000 hands, and I had not reached a sample size large enough to eliminate the variance that was still possible. And that speaks to what? Bankroll and risk management. All right, we're coming back and we're looking at equities, folks. Markets in the red. We got one more segment. We'll come right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps negative by 12 points. A little bit of selling on the open there. Yeah, we got the NASDAQ down about 70. Dow dips lower. Check out that acceleration. 46,717. And let's jump around right now. Look at this map. Right? NVIDIA. What if NVIDIA was down? NVIDIA's up 3% at 195, folks, as the market's falling apart. Okay, AMD's in the positive. You have Netflix higher, Disney in the green, Costco up 2.2%. Pepsi in the green barely, and we got some of the health stocks. Beyond that, you got red everywhere. Now that's your S&P. Jump over to the NASDAQ 100. Apple Oven continuing the volatility. But yeah, not much else, right? Pepsi in the green on their numbers. Constellation Energy in the green. AstraZeneca. And we got red across the board. You jump over to the Dow. Yeah, that is the Dow, excuse me. No, that's the NASDAQ. We jump over to the Dow. Yeah, look at everything selling off right now. And what happens in the Dow is a price-weighted index. NVIDIA doesn't matter as much. It's only a $195 stock, right? Microsoft's a $520 stock. So that's where the Dow taking it on the chin off 160 right now. All right, you check back in on gold. Ooh, look at this. All right, gold's ripping lower by $30 from that acceleration high. S&P's right now trading lower. And we'll finish it up with something to think about, okay? And the journal out this morning, before you think everything's going to hell and high water, right, and there's a debasement trade, bonds haven't said it yet. It's something to consider, folks, as you have gold rip lower. Doesn't mean that gold's going to dramatically drop. But, yeah, everywhere you talk about, right, gold, debasement trade, the dollar, etc., inflation, gold has soared. But you know what hasn't? Not to the same degree. Break-even inflation rates for 5 years, starting in 5 years, there hasn't been anything. We're right where we started at the beginning of the year. So, the dollar will be okay, folks. And as I've been saying, if you got a nice profit in those gold equities, draw a line in the sand and make sure you don't let it go to waste. Stick to those stops, folks. Discipline. Folks, thanks so much for kicking it off. Basil Chapman, he's coming up next with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Have a great day.